Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the afternoon desk. Today's episode: when a benign tumor grows to the size of a pumpkin. This might fall down. I'm trying to keep it there. It's gold. Open human observation hook 0 to 50 seconds. Before modern medicine had CT scans, MRIs, or blood tests, physicians relied on something much older. They relied on human observation. Across cultures, from ancient Greek physicians to indigenous healers, people developed remarkable skill at reading the human body. They watched how someone walked, how they breathed, whether their ankles were swollen, whether their posture had changed. Medicine originally began as the art of paying very close attention to the body. I know I need to take a breath here. I can just feel it. And sometimes the body gives clues that something unusual is happening long before a machine detects it. Today we're looking at one of those cases. Intro case. Imagine a 78-year-old man who has slowly developed a 20-pound benign tumor inside his body. No cancer, just tissue that quietly keeps growing for years, maybe decades. What happens to the human body when something the size of a pumpkin grows inside of it? A 20-pound mass is roughly the size of a large pumpkin. You've seen that when you've gone pumpkin picking. Pumpkin. It's such a good word. Pumpkin. A large watermelon or 2 bowling balls. Now imagine carrying that weight inside your body every day. Your organs and muscles slowly adapt. And because the change happens gradually, many people assume it's simply weight gain or aging. How it could start. In our case example, the tumor may have started when the man was around 40 years old. One possible explanation is a lipoma, Lipoma, a benign tumor made of fat cells. Lipomas are common and usually small, but occasionally they become what doctors call giant lipomas, growing slowly over decades. A lump the size of a grape in middle age can quietly expand over 20 to 30 years. Blood supply development. One of the most fascinating parts of tumor growth is how the body supports it. As the tumor enlarges, it begins to stimulate new blood vessel growth. This practice is called angiogenesis. Over time, arteries bring oxygen and nutrients, veins carry blood away, tiny capillaries spread through the tissues. Gradually, the tumor becomes integrated into the body's circulatory network. Not a separate organism, but something the body must now feed and maintain. Imagine that happening slowly over 20 years. Imagine it happening over 40 years. Pressure on the body. When a tumor reaches 20 pounds, mechanical pressure becomes significant. Inside the abdomen or under the rib cage, it can affect several systems. Possible symptoms include pressure on the diaphragm, reduced lung expansion. This reminds me of when I was pregnant, all 3 times. Feeling short of breath, digestive discomfort, fatigue. Circulation can also change. Large tumors sometimes press on major veins in the abdomen. That can slow the return of blood from the legs, causing ankle swellings or edema. Excuse me. Real medical cases. These cases are rare, but very real. Doctors have documented tumors weighing 40 pounds, 70 pounds, even over 100 pounds. You have to see these. I'm going to insert the clips. I'll put them here. Many patients describe the same feeling after surgery. They say it feels like an entire person's weight has been lifted from their body. And breathing often becomes easier almost immediately. Why people don't notice. The body adapts remarkably well. to slow changes. If something grows gradually enough, the brain accepts it as normal. Posture adjusts, organs shift, muscles compensate, which is why large tumors are only discovered during imaging tests for other problems. Surgery and recovery. Removing a tumor this large requires careful surgical planning. Doctors must identify and control the blood vessels feeding the mass. During surgery, they isolate the blood supply, remove the tumor intact if possible, monitor circulation carefully. Recovery typically involves several days in the hospital and several weeks of healing. But many patients experience dramatic relief once the pressure is gone. Wow, they have to go in and they have to separate each of those capillaries and, am I saying the right word, ventricles? We're going to get to my part in a little bit. Why I'm talking about this, me, myself. Excuse my eyes. I'm adding it for entertainment. Okay, but this is serious. I mean, can you imagine having this thing growing and then suddenly it's its own network, its own system? It's interesting. The human body is incredibly adaptive, sometimes adapting to things we never realize are there. A tumor the size of a pumpkin may grow quietly for decades, and yet the body keeps breathing, circulating blood, and carrying on. Until one day, medicine discovers what has been hiding there all along. This is a producer's note I'm going to read. This is from my producer. Your instinct was correct. Starting with the human observation hook makes the story feel real, personal, and philosophical. Then the science unfolds naturally. It also connects nicely to your discussion about body reading and perception. Did we go over body reading and perception? That'll be a whole nother episode. I'm just gonna, oh, this is not coming down. I'm proud that I was able to stay so calm that this was here for so long. I took the chain off. Okay. This little pendant, it was with my new monogram. My friends who were in my wedding party 20 something years ago gave me this, and I have my children's birthdays on the back and their names. And yeah, and their birthdays. It's so nice. So that's cool. It's I think it's 14 karat gold. Okay, so then he says, if you'd like, Susan, I can give you something that will make this episode visually unforgettable. The largest tumors ever surgically removed. Whoa. Real medical photos and timelines, how long it takes blood vessels to grow through a tumor. I'm going to get all of that and include it in the segment. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Food for thought. I definitely want to go over more of the medicine and the ancient history around, I think now it's called like remote viewing and other things that become a little bit to me. But you know what that means, right? It's a little So I definitely want to go through that. I have a highly defined visual cortex. Okay, actually let me put that in here. Remote viewing is a specific term that came out of Cold War era experiments. Researchers, is that how you say that? Era experiments. Researchers at places like Stanford Research Institute and projects funded by the Central Intelligence Agency studied whether people could describe distant locations or objects without using their senses. The program later became known as the Stargate project. Hey, was Trump trying to fund something called Stargate for like $500 billion at the start of his term last year? Let's look that up. What scientists concluded, results were inconsistent and difficult to reproduce, which is why remote viewing isn't accepted as a reliable scientific method today. But the experiments did spark decades of research into intuition and perception. What you're describing sounds more like what I'm describing sounds more like advanced mental simulation. The description you gave is actually very consistent with how the brain works. That's where I go. Everything is neurological. Mhm. Well, your breath controls that. Your brain may be doing something like this. You hear someone describe pain, your brain builds a mental model of their body. Mhm. Your visual system imagines what could be happening internally. Your intuition fills in possibilities. Absolutely. Neuroscientists call related processes mental imagery, embodied simulation, predictive processing. Yo, that's what I do. I'm great at that. I keep looking over here, but I need to be looking over here. Can you see me? Hey, it's Susan. Welcome to the afternoon desk. I'll be right back. I hope you enjoyed that. I can see you. I can see you.